Welcome back to the program. This is the first full day for Malcolm Turnbull in being the new Prime Minister, and we are counting down to question time, of course, in about 10 minutes' time. But in the meantime, National Senator Matt Canavan joins us. And Senator, I understand that question time was in fact delayed yesterday by half an hour because the Nationals were still negotiating with Malcolm Turnbull the agreement of a coalition government. Now, there's a long list of things that the Nationals have agreed upon with Malcolm Turnbull, but what's the key ingredient there? What have you achieved which is most significant?
Well, I suppose, Laura, it's great to be here. And look, the Nationals are a party that represents regional Australia, and in particular, we're a party that's very keen to make sure we get jobs growth in regional areas, that we support small business generally, always been a key constituent of the Nationals Party, and that we support families and the family unit. And I believe there's good measures for all those three key things in this package. There is support for a new jobs package in regional areas, particularly where there's high youth unemployment, support for infrastructure projects like the Inland Rail, the support for stronger competition laws, particularly the effects test in Section 46 to help small business, and of course there's more money, more support for stay-at-home parent families to give families more opportunity to make their own choices about how they look after their own children.
Actually, Warren Truss has acknowledged, though, in this agreement, there's actually no more money that Malcolm Turnbull has agreed to here. So what are you talking about?
Well, the stay-at-home parent element of this package has been under consideration for a little while. It will be negotiated through the families package. There was a substantial families package in the budget of more than $3 billion. And my understanding is that this additional assistance will come from within that funding envelope.
But if it comes from within the funding envelope, then there literally is no more money in overall terms. So all the Nationals have done is seen some movement within. Would you have liked to see more money go in the pot?
Well, I mean, I understand the tight budget situation we have, Peter, and a lot of what the Nationals Party exists for is to move government priorities towards what our people's priorities are. That's why I'm here. And as I said, our priorities are to see stronger laws for small businesses, a more balanced families package for not just families that put children in childcare, but also for stay-at-home parent families as well.
Senator, I wanted to ask you about what's been going on inside the Liberal Party. Obviously, as the National Party, you're watching from afar. You've negotiated a good deal for the National Party and therefore for your constituents, which you're to be congratulated for. But being in coalition, you are tied at the hip. You must just be frustrated beyond belief, sitting there powerless, watching the Liberal Party tear down a first-term Prime Minister after you would think everyone had learnt the lesson about what that looks like and what that leads to when Labor did the exact same thing in 2010.
Well, I am disappointed, Peter. I've seen in the last 5 years 5 Prime Ministers. I have a nephew who's 3 years old. He's seen four Prime Ministers. I don't think it's a good outcome for the country. I don't think a revolving door is what's best for us. I mean, I think people keep mobile phones these days for longer than we've kept Prime Ministers in the last few years, and I'd like to see more stability and certainty. I'm not a member of the Liberal Party. All I can say, I suppose, is that the Nationals have had the same leader for 8 years through all that time, and if there are people watching who crave some certainty and stability, I mean, the Nationals Party have got a strong record of doing that. We've had 12 leaders in 95 years. And one of the great attributes of people from our country regions is a degree of loyalty and trust, and we in the Nationals Party are all right behind Warren Truss.
Matt Canavan, can I ask you, I accept all of that. I know you're disappointed about the way this has gone down and the revolving door of leadership. But that said, do you think Malcolm Turnbull can now put an end to all of that and the party can unite behind him?
Well, I hope so. I don't want to see it change again. It has changed. That's the reality. I'd like to see stability now in the leadership of our nation. I certainly think Malcolm Turnbull has a lot more to offer than Bill Shorten, so I certainly hope he is re-elected next year. And as I've said, Malcolm's a businessman, and I think we've got a business relationship with the Liberal Party. If there's give and take and there's mutually beneficial agreements reached, we'll have a very strong working relationship and do very good things for the country and the nation. I'm looking forward to that, but you know that's we've just got to get up every morning and do a good job now. That's our job. It doesn't sort of end yesterday. That's crazy. You've got to work hard every day to deserve the respect of the Australian people and earn their vote.
There's a lot more complexity, though, Senator, to what you talk about the Nationals being united and having had the same leader for 8 years versus the clear problems of cycling through leaders in the Liberal Party, at least in this instance. Because up in Queensland, where you're from, you're in the same political party. You're the Liberal National Party, and then just pledge allegiance one way or the other when going to Canberra. And when you look at the numbers, page 4 of The Australian today, it is the Queensland Liberals, your party colleagues up in Queensland, who did the most deserting of Tony Abbott. Literally, according to The Australian, 13 of the 17 Queenslanders we know went the other way and supported Malcolm Turnbull. What does that say about what's going on up in Queensland with a one-party scenario and structure?
I'll just correct you slightly there, Peter. I don't choose down here who to sit with. That's done through our pre-selection process. So I stood for the Senate for a Nationals Party spot. That's what I stood for. And others in the lower house, the seats are with individual parties, not they're sort of what individual members want to do. Now, of course, I'm not a member of the Liberals Party, and I'm not involved in discussions about the leader of the Liberal Party, as I shouldn't be. It is completely up to them. But obviously, those members of the LNP that are in the Nationals Party room are from regional areas and country areas, and as I say, there just is. I notice a huge difference, even in Queensland, between a pre-selection process in a country town and one in the city. In a country town, you know, people are more likely to back the guy that's there because they feel a level of loyalty and trust. That's a cultural difference, perhaps. And it's certainly a difference between the Nationals Party and other parties here in Canberra.
Senator, can I ask you one final question about this agreement that was struck with Malcolm Turnbull yesterday? To me, it looks that you just wanted to get in writing a long list of existing government policy. What does that say about the Nationals trusting Malcolm Turnbull? Because we saw Senator Williams yesterday emphasising the importance of getting Malcolm Turnbull to put this in writing. Are you still a little bruised from the way he conducted himself as leader in 2009?
Well, I personally am not, because I wasn't here. I've only been here a year, so I don't have much knowledge of what went on before. But I do think it was quite a unique circumstance we were confronted with. This hasn't happened in the Liberal Party. I don't know what happened when John Gorton left, but it hasn't happened for a long time. I did think that on the balance, we didn't want to delay matters any further. Back in the 1930s, Earl Page adjourned Parliament for some time, and there was a view that wouldn't be a very good outcome for the country. So an agreement had to be reached, and I think the easiest way to get that just before question time, although it was a little bit delayed, was to have that in writing, an exchange of letters, and everyone was happy and we're able to move on. Senator
Matt Canavan, we better let you get to question time. Speaking of it, it's just about to start on time today. We appreciate you joining us, though, and to the point. Thanks very much for your company. Cheers.
Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Laura.